Hello, I believe we are live on Direct Mail Monday, June 8th, 2020. Steve Sipress here. And before I get to today's featured piece, going to share just a couple of updates. One, we receive this stuff often from one of our favorite charities. You ought to, if you're here for the first time, you're hearing me say it for the first time, but you ought to donate to some of your favorite charities just to get on their preferred mailing list. You might get a piece of blind mail once in a while, but you donate some money and you'll get on their preferred mailing list and you'll see all their best stuff. In general, no better a group of marketers than charities, of course, because they get money to give nothing physical in return, or certainly not something of the same value. They might give you a tote bag or some other kind of gift for $1,000 donation or whatever, but not like a typical business that has to give a car that somebody believes is worth $30,000 in exchange for $30,000. A charity can get $30,000 donation just by creating warm and fuzzy feelings and giving, again, a tote bag or something, a token in return. So you really ought to study their marketing. And here's one, you see this stuff using the front, back of the envelope. And if I open this up and showed you everything in it, there's all kinds of good stuff in there. In general, almost always fantastic marketing. I shouldn't say almost always, but some of the best marketing is done, of course, by people that are looking to collect money instead of exchange money for products and services. Just makes sense, right? Next piece I got is an interesting strategy. Not sure if they did it on purpose, but this is a really thin envelope, which I can pretty much see right through and see that it's commercial in nature, and it's, got some kind of a special offer, it said, or something on it when I saw it. And so, not sure if they did it on purpose, but it's interesting to test. See if you get more people opening your envelope when they can sort of see through it and sort of see that there's some kind of special deal in there. Open it up and see what it is. Or if it was just a plain normal envelope that you can't see through, maybe this would just get tossed because it's obviously junk mail. It's got a pre-sort indicia on it. It's got the barcode under the name. It's got a blind address printed. Everything is printed, so it tells you it's not, from your Aunt Mary sending you a nice handwritten note. And of course, one of the telltale signs in this household is it's addressed to my mom, who has never lived here and passed away over 5 years ago, but as the administrator of her estate, her mail is forwarded here. She's still on a bunch of mailing lists, as I share often, mail addressed to her. And so what is it? It is, I can't even tell. Oh, I see. So the headline, which is terrible, times have changed and so have you. Again, just from seeing that, I couldn't tell what it's all about until I see the subheadline. Is your relapsing MS therapy still meeting your needs? My mom suffered from MS her entire adult life, dating back to when she was about 16 years old. And so this is a free live webinar. I talked about that last week, that online events are often live events. This video is a live event. If you're watching it live over at facebook.com/smallbizhelp, that's where it's a live event. Otherwise, you're watching a replay. Webinars can be live events. You can also watch the replay. And so there's live online versus live in person. People often say live event meaning only an in-person event. But of course, and we've learned now during the great shutdown for the past few months, that there are a ton of live events that go on using technology online. But anyway, so there you go. Some kind of thing for a webinar. Knowledge is power. And other meaningless phrases on here. Pretty bad job of getting some to show up in the webinar. Certainly a lot better things they could have said to somebody whose MS therapy is not meeting their needs. Could have said all kinds of good things about whatever you're offering in general, just enough to whet people's appetite and get them onto the presentation, which is a sales presentation. Same thing as booking a sales appointment or doing any kind of advertising or marketing in order to get into a selling situation. You don't have to say everything. You want to whet their appetite enough for them to say, tell me more. Or you could mail out a 24-page sales letter telling them everything and hoping they'll just send you money. That works also. All right, now let's get to the main subject, the main piece of today's Direct Mail Monday video. It is, what did I call it? I can't see the title anymore, but this is, my opinion, the simplest, the easiest, the quickest way to make money and be successful with direct mail. And every successful business owner and entrepreneur ought to be using this. Now, I say successful because if you're not successful, this won't work. The way it works is you take, so I'll just tell you the backstory. Here is someone who, I saw a Facebook ad, I clicked on it, and I bought a ebook, I guess, a course, I haven't looked at it yet, but some kind of report for $3 from this person. And there's another lesson in itself. If you price your stuff that low, people are going to have less respect for it. If I would have paid $10,000 for it, you better believe I would have read it immediately and started working on it, implemented it, and made a lot of money. So if you really want to do someone a favor, don't price your stuff at $3. They're likely to not pay attention to it. If you're in a restaurant, for instance, and you say, I got steak dinners for $3, you're likely to have nobody show up because they know, or they just believe, that must be a really crappy steak dinner. And same thing if you said, I have fantastic men's suits for $3. Nobody would go shopping there. They just have to believe you're either lying or it's got to be, made out of, I don't know, disintegrating tissue paper or something. I mean, $3 for a suit. Come on. So you can price your stuff way too low, and therefore not be doing your buyers a favor. If you want to do them a favor, price it enough so that they have some skin in the game and they will take action on it. So, but anyway, now I see his strategy. And that's often why you got to buy stuff. I talked about it earlier, by donating stuff to charities, because then you see what's known as their back end. You see what is the second, the third, the fourth purchase they're looking for. I call it the iceberg theory. 90% of an iceberg is hidden underwater, and 90% or more of the money you can get from customers, clients, patients, members is after the first sale. It's hidden. You don't know it yet. And yet, one of the most common mistakes I'd say 98 or 99% of business owners make is they insist on making lots of money on the initial sale, and then they miss all the iceberg money because it's tough to make a sale when you're demanding to make lots of profit on it. And but this guy did it right. He said, just give me $3 for this. So between paying for the Facebook ad, probably $3 like barely covered it, and then he's taken a piece of paper, printing it both-sided, putting it in an envelope with a stamp, which I already tossed the envelope, but it was a handwritten envelope, handwritten to me. And so I was compelled to open it up, handwritten envelope, with just the return address, no name. I was like, hey, who's sending me something? And there it is. I fell for it because I opened it up, and I said, hey, it's not personal, it's business mail, but look at the brilliance of this. So what he did is, he sold me his tip of the iceberg thing, $3, break even. Maybe there was when I ordered the product, there was probably an upsell on the order page to buy something else for $27 or $40, enough to make a little bit of money. So you get paid to generate leads. You make a little bit of money on the ads. But then I didn't buy those, but I did buy the $3 thing, and I got this piece of mail. And I'll tell you, so you'll understand that the course I bought is how to monetize a Facebook group. I am the administrator. I run a whole bunch of Facebook groups. This is one of them. And I'm interested in what his idea, I've read all kinds of stuff, met all kinds of people, and read books and been at events and learned all kinds of different ways people monetize their Facebook groups. And I still buy a lot of courses, programs, marketing advice because I have clients who I then immediately say, hey, I got this thing, either here it is, or let me just, summarize it for you, or I got to tell you the newest, latest thing, or this thing works. I tried it, I did it. So, of course, being a teacher, I need to be a good student. I need to be constantly on the cutting edge and learning. So I said, let's get that Facebook group course. And then what he says here on the headline is, want me to rapidly grow your Facebook group and email list with thousands of new members for you, all caps for you. In other words, I got the course, which again I haven't looked at it yet. It's, probably just a few pages in a report. But that's, $3 or $10 or $20 or whatever you can get for that. But if he's going to do it for you, I don't see a price in here. So he's doing what I talked about earlier. He's just looking to get into the selling situation. Go to this website to schedule a call with a salesperson that'll sell me on his service of doing it for me. So I got the course showing that I am interested in making money with a Facebook group, but the sharpest people, of course, are not interested in doing anything, any of the doing themselves. We're interested not, when we want to do something, we don't ask how, as in how do you do it. We ask who. Who can I get to do this? You don't think the top entrepreneurs, Elon Musk, is saying, I got to learn every single thing about calculus and who knows what to get a rocket ship onto Mars, or to build some fancy car, or to do anything else. He's never asking how do you do any of that stuff. He's asking who do I get to get that rocket up into space, and who do I get to make the connection so NASA pays us millions of dollars just to put their astronauts on it, and how do I, who do I talk to get my factory going, and who should I hire, and who should I this? The question you always want to ask when you want something done is who, not how. But I responded to the how to do it, and then he sends out this piece of direct mail, which costs, again, it's double-sided printing, I don't know, a nickel, and a stamp and an envelope. So like 60 cents a piece, less than $1 a piece. And if I'm one of the sharper people, I don't want to do whatever he said in that report by myself, because I'm not asking the question, how do you do it? I really want to know, who can I get to do it? And right here in the headline is that offer to solve my problem. The sharp person wants this solution, someone doing it for them. Okay, and so here's the easy thing to do. You take this is why I say the successful business owners and entrepreneurs absolutely ought to be doing this, because that means you're successfully selling stuff. You can't be successful unless you're selling, because cash, revenue, it's a lifeblood of a business. Obviously, no matter how good you are as a doctor, lawyer, or anything else on earth, unless you are selling your services and your products, you can't stay in business. So sales is, of course, the backbone of every business. And once you have a successful sales message, maybe you're sending out an email, maybe it's a phone script, maybe it's when you see someone person-to-person at a networking event, whatever your message is, if it works to sell, all you got to do is print it onto paper and drop it in the mail. And you have the last W of the WOW strategy, another way to get your message out in front of people, to get your irresistible offer, because I assume that when I get on the phone with this person, they're going to make me an irresistible offer. First of all, if I go there, I will indicate I'm one of the sharper people. I want it done for me. Now, all they have to do is say, this is how much money you're going to make, or how much money, even better, how much money we're going to guarantee you make, and here's how little you're going to have to pay us to get it. That's going to make it an irresistible offer for anyone sharp enough to know, I don't actually want to learn or do anything myself. I might want to learn just enough about something to know who I'm hiring, but even better, get a trusted referral. You can go to helpfromsteve.com, by the way, if you want help with how to do this, or you want a referral to someone that can help you do this. Or learn enough about it that you can hire the person, or hire someone who knows how to hire those people. So hire a project manager, hire a, what do they call it, VP of whatever, who's in charge of getting that whole thing done. In this case, it'd be a VP of marketing, who would know who to hire to write this, to print it, to mail it, what mailing list to get, and all that kind of stuff. But in this case, it's what's known as a house list. I gave him $3, gave it right back, paid for the ad, and paid for this letter to be sent out to me. And then a certain number of people are going to raise their hand and indicate, I am much sharper than just getting a report and learning how to do something myself. I want someone to do it for me. What do you got? So that's the simplest, easiest way. You take your successful message, whether you're selling from a stage, you're selling in a video, you're selling on a website, in email, face to face, whatever way you're successfully selling, just print it out on a piece of paper and drop it in the mail, and you've got another successful way to make money. It's the easiest way to make money with direct mail is instead of figuring out, because that's the number one question I get asked all the time. But Steve, I want to do direct mail. It sounds great, but I don't know what to say on two-page. What would I say? Well, you say what already works in another way. It works in an email. Take the email, print it out, put it on paper. By the way, you will learn you make a ton more money, a ton more sales in direct mail than you ever could from emails that people just want to delete all of them every day. But get 2, 3 pieces of direct mail a day other than clear junk and bills, and people are opening it. The right people are responding. So you either get the right list, which often is your house list. In this case, it's very successful. Put together a strategy, not just putting Facebook ads to sell a $3 thing. He did it to find the people that are interested in that topic and then attempt to sell them a $500 a month thing or $1,000 a month or $200 a month or whatever the heck this would cost to get the results I want where he can actually make some money. Make sense? So hopefully you take that to heart. And again, if you want help, as always, go to helpfromsteve.com. I don't see any questions, comments, concerns, mostly because I haven't seen it yet on this new Facebook whatever live producer thing that never seems to work right, and it never shows me any questions, comments, concerns, or likes or anything going on. So if you have any of that, post it below wherever you're watching this, reading it, listening to it. I always respond when appropriate. Get over to helpfromsteve.com, get a link to my personal calendar. We'll get on the phone and I'll help you with any of this stuff. Anything to do with bringing in more sales, more profits, more revenue to your business with a lot less work and a lot less stress. Because to me, that's what running a business is all about. And that'll do it for Direct Mail Monday. I'll catch you tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Over and out. Bye-bye.